Hi. Hi. Hi Jennifer. Hi Randy. Hi guys. Right, so as people are coming in, I'll just go ahead and wheel off everything. So today is the last part of the sew along of the Wesley tote, version 2. So yeah, welcome to my channel. I'm Becky. Right, so it's quite a long bit today, so I'm just going to go straight into it. Hi, I'm here. Yes, you're here. Right, so today we are going to tackle page 13, 14, 15 and the last part of 16. Right, so a lot of people have asked about the zips that are on the continuous zip tape and you buy the pulls separate, and how to attach the pulls and to get them correctly. So I'm going to do part of the tutorial on how to get the pulls on correctly, and there is a gadget and it's in your house that you can use. It's called a kitchen fork. So yeah, so I'm going to start demonstrating that first so you can actually get used to how to put pulls onto your zips. So if you're joining in on the fourth part and you don't know what's going on, for the last 3-4 weeks we've been doing a sew along learning how to make the Wesley tote. In the description above, once this live is finished, I will put where to buy the pattern from or to download the free copy. So yeah, it's this bag we're making. Ignore the back to front, I'm so sorry, it's still back to front. Right, so I'm going to jump in to show you how to put the zip pull onto the zip. You really only need a kitchen fork, and I'm not joking, a kitchen fork will do this trick. So the main zip on the zip that closes the bag is a number 5 zip. So like I explained last week, that's to do with the coil in the middle, the zip coil. So that's 5mm, that bit in the middle. You tend to find number 5 zips are wider as well, wider zip tape. I just want to make sure, can everybody hear me? If you just give me a thumbs up and hearts or whatever, just to make sure. So the zip tape is normally around, from here to here, is normally around 1.25 inches width. A number 3 is normally 3mm zip in the centre, which is the coil bit, where the teeth is, and the actual tape from side to side measures around about 1 inch. So normally you buy zips by the length, but some places now sell it by the yard, and you can buy as many pulls as you want and put as many pulls as you want onto the actual zip. So I'm going to teach you how to use a fork and put the zip pull on, and basically, right, so my fork has got 4 prongs on. You can get prongs on a fork which has only got 3 prongs. Now you need to avoid those ones. IKEA do some cheap ones that have got 3 prongs on. You just need to avoid those when you're implementing putting a zip pull on. So you definitely need a 4-prong zip fork. You will find that you need it to, and I don't know if you can see this, it's wider at the top and narrows down here. You need it to do that as well on the fork. And also you will find that you won't need to adjust the prongs on the fork for a number 5 zip or a number 7. Low, I can't say 3. So you won't need to adjust the prongs on the fork with a number 5 zip. But if you've got a number 3 zip and you need to put this the prongs, you need to pull the prongs together, so you need to get a pair of pliers from out the shed or something and just slightly push them together a bit. I had to get my dad to do it because I couldn't get the grip of the pliers and push it together. Right, so I'm going to point the camera down. Hi Sally Ann, hope you're enjoying yourself in Texas. I'm going to put the camera down and show you what you need to do to get these pulls on correctly. So let's get you down here. Right, so you're going to need a paper pair of scissors, or a pair of scissors that you don't use for fabric or anything. Let's take that pull off. Right, okay, so you need to pull your zip tape apart. So you got it apart here, and you need to make one of the sides shorter, only by 2 teeth worth, so you're not cutting that much off. So that's my 2 teeth gone. I'm just making sure the tape's nice and clean. So as you can see, one side is slightly shorter than the other. You only need to really take off that amount. So you've got your fork, and I'm going to do it on the side view here, and you've got your pull here, which is this side, and the back of the pull here. The back of the pull needs to, and I'm hoping you can see this, needs to actually be, the pull at the front needs to go through the fork prong here, and you'll see that it's the flat bits at the back. Okay, and I haven't done this, I haven't done that, so it's not flush. It's just basically that pull bit there of the zip pull is just resting in the prongs. Right, so now this will take a few goes and a few tries. Right, you need to open up your zip, and the bit that you cut off the less part, that goes in last. So the bit that's the shorter side goes in last, the bit that's the longest goes in first, and you have to do it at a angle, and you're not going all the way down. So I'm going at about a 30 degrees angle. Okay, and you rest your thumb on that bit there. Okay, then you get this part of the tape and you pop that in at the same angle, 30 degrees. I think it's 30 degrees, but it's just got to be at an angle, and you'll just slightly, hang on. Okay, slightly pull when it wants to. Okay, slightly pull, and you'll notice the tape has come through and it's even. Then you just pull the tape a bit, take that pull off the fork and pull it all the way to the top of where the zip tape starts, and then you pull it apart, trim it off to the correct part, like so. And that's how you put a zip pull on with a kitchen fork. It's trial and error. It's the most easiest tool that you can ever have. Now, some people have clamped, like got someone to bend it, and got like a clamp from the pound shop and clamped it onto their table, and it permanently sits on their table, because obviously you can't eat with it if you've squashed 2 of the prongs together. You can put these pulls on without even using a kitchen fork, but I find personally myself I need the kitchen fork. She's on the gin, sorry. So basically I need the kitchen fork to be able to get the zip pull correct. Now if you're putting 2 pulls onto your zip so it opens up like this, you need to do exactly what I've just done. Pull it up, the zip pull up to the top. Then you need to repeat the process of putting the other zip pull going on that way. So you'll cut one at a shorter inch and one slightly at a longer inch, and then put the zip pull on. And then basically your zip pulls will meet in the middle. Now sometimes you get your zip pulls are meeting, but you'll get a bit of zip tape. If you keep moving those zip pulls up and down, they will actually naturally meet together in the middle. But sometimes you're lucky and you get them straight on and perfectly. So that's an easy tutorial there of the kitchen fork. So it's not just for eating with. Right, so now I'm going to get into the Wesley tote pattern. So going on page 13. So on page 13, I'm just going to show you the pictures. So there is 2 ways of adding a zip tab onto your zip. I'm not going to do the metal one because, believe it or not, this is quite self-explanatory, the pictures in the actual booklet. So you basically get your end of your zip and you just naturally fold it in. So you get to a point, put the metal bit in, turn it over, and then just put the screw in and it holds it all into place. I'm not going to show you that today because that is so easy. What I am going to show you is the actual fabric tab end. So I pre-prepped this. So it starts off as a rectangle, like so. Then you fold the 2 sides in to the wrong side to meet in the middle. Then you fold it in half and give it a press. Reopen it, and then you press those 2 bits into the centre. And then basically you press that again there. And that's pretty it, really. So I'm going to go on to how to attach this to this, and yeah. Right, so once again the wonder tape's going to come out. Sorry, I like this stuff, can't help it. Yeah, well, I'll say wonder tape, it's wash away tape. So I've just noticed my end's not perfectly straight, so okay, so I'm going to put a bit of tape on top and bottom here. Like I say, if you have any questions, just ask below, and if I don't answer them while the live is on, I will actually get back to you on social media later on. Oh, my tape's gone a bit weird. There you go. Right, so I'm just putting a little bit top and bottom. In my machine, I've got Guterman's Sew All thread still in, same colour, which is that orangey yellow colour. I've got a size 16 needle and a walking foot. Right, if you're only just coming in and you only just come in for the first time and missed the zip tutorial, you can watch it back later on, and I will be posting it on YouTube as well. So I've peeled off the backing of the one tape here. Yeah, the fork demonstration, it will be uploaded later on. So once this is over, you can catch up and watch it then. So I'm just gonna lay the zip on and stick that into place. And then just going to peel this bit off here and fold that over the top, and just basically making a sandwich. And then the next thing we're going to do is just sew around the whole square. So, and I'm using a stitch length 3. Now you've got to be careful because we're going to go over some teeth, so when we get to that part, I know it's nylon zip, so it's a plastic zip. Do you need to put a tab on using a normal zip? Yes, if it opens up fully. If it doesn't open up fully, I can't see why you don't have to put it on, but I don't like seeing the raw ends, if you understand where I'm coming from. So you don't need to, but you can do if you want to. So I'm just going to sew all the way around, but when I come to that zip part, I'm just going to go so slow over it. Now I know it's a plastic zip, but I'm still hand cranking it over because, for the simple reason, I just don't want it to break my needle while I'm on here and I have to put a new needle in. Let's cut that thread off. Fred. Yes, Lo, I said Fred as in the man. Right, so I've got that sewn on there. And you'll notice that the zip pull can't come off that one end, but it can come off this end. So we need to actually do something with this end now. So in the book, I get you to fold it at a 90-degree angle. And we need to hand sew that into place. So you just need a bit of thread and a needle. Yes, Lo, I said Fred. And sew that into place. Okay. And a few more stitches. You're just tacking it into place. Like so. Okay, and you don't really need to knot it off, because it'll be caught in the next step anyway. Okay, and I'm just going to do the same, but when you come to doing this one, you need to make sure it bends at the equal amount. So, like so. You're making like a T shape. Like so. Right, so that's now done. So the next step you need to do is, we need to do is what they call the zip bridge. No, I don't want to answer my doorbell. He's left it outside anyway, it's a parcel, so don't worry about it. Yeah. I just went to answer the... Yeah, it did go off, but I knew it was a delivery and there was a note on the door to say leave it outside. Right, so we're going to make the zip bridge now. So the zip bridge is 2 parts and you need to do a bit of pressing beforehand. Right, so I'm unfolding this bit. So you basically press it in on the 2 sides 1/4 of an inch in. So before I go and do the next steps, I do the exactly same on this one as well to make sure that they're the correct width. So I always have one measured on the ironing board next to the other, because if one's longer than the other, it won't sit correctly onto your zip and when we sew it into your bag. So once you've done that to both of them, you then fold it in half, like so. And then reopen that up and then fold those bits into the wrong side to meet into the centre. And then fold it over again and give it a good press. And you need to do that for both pieces. So you got both pieces here. So we're going to just pop one piece to one side and bring the camera down. There you go. And quilter's tape again, sorry. You'll get used to this. And we're just going to run quilter's tape along the edge. Here. And on this side as well. Right, so I've got the quilter's tape top and bottom, and we're just going to peel off the one piece at the moment. So next week's live isn't actually a true Facebook live. So earlier on I posted in the group my YouTube channel. The reason why I'm doing that is because next week I want to show you how to make piping, because there is a bag that I'm releasing, not this month, next month, that's got piping on, and you might want to make your own piping. Now, so for instance, with making your own piping, you need to make your own bias binding. So, and I can't show you that on a Facebook Live because obviously you got it back to front. So I'm going to be doing what they call a premiere, which is like a live video on YouTube, but I personally won't be interacting with you guys via talking face to face. I'll be interacting by talking to each other via texting or messaging. So a premiere is basically, you'll see the video and you'll view it live, but you'll be talking to me via typing away and I will type back to you guys, because I need it to be filmed in the correct way so you guys can see me implement it correctly, rather than you seeing it back to front and then you trying to convert it into the correct way in your head. So yeah, I'll keep you posted about that. So going back to this, you need to put this zip so it is, can you see that, 1/4 of an inch away from that edge. And if we flip this over now, you need to stick that on not too close to the zip coil, which is that bit in the middle. It needs to be about 1/8 of an inch away, and you need to stick that into place. Flip that over. Now you can open up your zip at this point if you want to, and then you can peel this backing off. And then fold that over so it sticks up on top of that, and then you'll notice you've got your zip basically sandwiched in that one there. So I'm just going to do the same with this side here. So once again, tape top and bottom. Okay, peel off the backing of the one. I've cut my nails just before I came on air because I ripped a nail and now I've got no nails to peel off stuff. Right, so we need to make sure that's, can you see that? I'm basically lining up here to make sure that's quite flush and neat, and one's not crooked and one's not further this way than the other. And then stick that into place like so, and then you peel off the backing of this one. And fold that back over. Now I've noticed that I've stuck that a bit too far. That's better. So at this point, before we start sewing it all together, you want to try your zip pull. So you want to be able to close it to make sure it will run down properly. And you'll notice now the zip won't come off on pulling it because we've folded it over and sewn that zip into place. The zip can't come off. So we're going to go to the machine and sew down the two sides here, down that straight next to the zip, and down here. So I like to open up the zip fully on this. And once again, when I come to the zip part here, you're just going to go over slowly. I'm using a stitch length 3. And my advice is to put your walking foot on. Just means that you won't have problems going over it. And then just repeat it for this one as well. And there you have it, you have a zip bridge that's near enough complete. I'll just cut those bits off. Right, so the next bit we need to do is attach this to our lining piece. So hi. So here is my one with the actual slip pocket system on. Now you need to work out whether this is going to be on the back of your bag or the front of your bag, and how you want your zip to pull, how you want your bag to open. So for instance, I like my bag opening, no, I just got to do this, so it's right to left. I'm dyslexic, so I get my lefts and rights wrong. So I like to open a bag right to left. So I need to know whether I'm going to put this on the front, inside my bag, or on the back. So I'm going to have this on the back. So you need to find the centre top, so you fold that in half and just snip that half so you actually know where your centre is. You only go in a little bit, like 1/4 of an inch. And then you need to get your bridge, match up the two ends and find the centre. Now to find, you can't snip these. So the way I do it is I just put a bit of pin into those centres. So that will let me know where the centre marks are on this. Right, so they're my 2 centre marks. So we need to pop the zip bridge 2 inches down on here. So if I just bring you down as far as you can go. Right, so my centre is there. I'm just going to pop a pin on so you guys can see that. Okay. Then I'm going to measure 2 inches down. So that's 2 inches down. This point here on my rule is my centre. Now at this point you can actually stick quilter's tape on the back. So I'm just going to quickly run some quilter's tape on both sides. So that's the sides furthest away from the zip, and that's on the back of the zip bridge. Now I will put the link to this tape because I do use it quite a lot. I get it from Amazon. I get like 4 rolls of it, and there's quite a lot of yardage on it as well. Right, so I'm going to peel off this tape here first. Okay, and then basically flip it over so it's right side facing up and match where that centre is. So let me just move that. So my centre is that point there on the top of the actual lining, and my centre of the bridge is there. Making sure it's 2 inches down, and you stick that into place. So at the machine you're going to, now I just say stitch along that part there. Now you can do 1 or 2 rows if you want to. It's totally up to you, that is. I'm going to do 2 rows of stitching just to be on the extra safe side. So I'm going to sew 1/8 of an inch away from the edge, using a stitch length 3, and I'm going to reverse my stitch at the start and at the end as well. Then I'm just going to move down another row, so I'm going to go 1/4 of an inch away from the edge. That's just for extra precaution, basically. I don't tell you to do this in the actual pattern, but my advice is for the extra safety, just add that second row of stitching. So that's your zip bridge attached to the one piece of lining first. What I tend to do, and I don't tell you to do this in the book, in the instructions, is just to fold it now, just so the zip bridge can start making its shape. You can run a bit of an iron over it if you want to, and that's starting to make the shape of the zip bridge. So we're going to move on to the second side of the lining. So keep this one pin in, unzip this completely. Okay, so once again we're going to find the center of the other piece of the lining. And mark it or snip it in the seam lengths, and you're going to open that up. Once again, I'll pop a pin in for you guys to see. Okay, so once again we're going to measure down 2 inches like so, and this time this is going to go right. So I'm going to close up the zip bridge so you guys can see this properly. Okay, so you're going to end up having this at a fold, as you can see. We're going to match up the zip bridge half of the zip bridge to that half of the lining and measure it down, measuring down 2 inches. So ignore how the lining is going to be sitting. It's the bridge that you're worried about at the moment. Okay, so I'll take that off. So as you can see here, I've basically gone right side to right side of the lining. So as you can see, it's right side to right side. And I've stuck the bridge on, and I'm just going to do 2 more rows of stitching on this side. And another row. Right, so now you should have something that is looking a bit like this. It's attached, or if you pull the zipper apart, it looks a mess at the moment, but it's not a mess, honest. Right, so the next bit you need to do is, I normally close the zip up completely for this next part. And we're just going to make the whole bag complete, the whole bag. But what we need to do is leave a turning gap at the bottom. So I'm going to stitch down the 2 sides, stitch about 3 inches in from this side here. We're not going to touch these parts here on both sides. We're going to stitch in about 3 inches and leave a turning gap at the bottom. You've got to make sure this is tucked right inside when we're clipping down. And we're using a 1 centimetre seam allowance or 3/8 of an inch. Matching up the edges. Same with the bottom, but this time, like I said, we're going to only sew to around about, I'll make a mark, so we're going to sew to around about there and there. We're going to need a turning gap basically. Now some people say, oh, I don't like the turning gap on the bottom. There's no harm in you putting the turning gap on the side where we've just pegged, as long as you leave a good 8-ish inches, you should be fine. And then we're just going to clip down this one side here. Right, so I'm just going to sew down those 2 sides first, and then we go across the bottom. And I'm going to put my stitch length back to a standard size, which on this machine it's a 2.4. Making sure you reverse your stitches, definitely at the top edge of the bag. And over to this side. Okay, and I'm just going to stitch the bottom, but I'm only going to do those few inches, so there's about 2.5 inches from there. And you need to reverse at where that marker is. That's because when we turn it through, it will take a bit of force, and you don't want it to rip. Right, so I'm not going to trim off any of these parts here, but I am going to trim back my sides just to cut away bulk. And get rid of that bit. And this side. Making sure you don't cut into your sewing line. I'm going just over 1/8 of an inch away. Right. Okay, so now we've got these bits, like last week. You open it up match the bottom seam to the side seam. And I do nesting, what they do in quilting. So one seam goes one way, one seam goes the other way. I don't know if you can see that. And then I just clip that. And now we're just going to sew across there. Smooching everything out of the way. And that's using a 1 centimetre seam allowance or 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And I don't actually cut away that, not in the lining, because it does take a bit of a bashing with if you're going to keep like folders and stuff like that in it, or going down to the fruit and veg shop or something. So I'm nesting the seam on the other side and clipping that into place. Just open it up a bit, and once again just stitching across. Right, so oh, it's a bit too high, that was. So now we need to open up the zip completely, and my advice is to go all the way to where the tab is. And then what you need to do is make sure the zip bridge is pointing downwards on this part. So we're going to get the original outer bag, and my trick is to get your handles and stuff them into the pockets, one pocket on the front and the same with the handle at the back, like so. Now you're going to make sure this is the right side facing out. Doesn't matter if it's all crooked at the bottom, don't worry about that at the moment. And we're going to get your bag, your lining bag, and pop this inside your lining bag, like so. Like so. It's a magic trick. Then key areas you need to match up is your side seam of your lining bag to your side seam of your outer bag. I'm going to nest them again and clip. And making sure those handles are out of the way. I'm going to do the same with this one as well. And I'm nesting those seams. And I'm just going to go around the top, clipping around the top. If I'm missing any questions, I'm so sorry. I will actually answer any questions later. Okay, so making sure those handles are pushed out the way. Thanks, Carol. This is actually, this bag, once I've finished it and pressed it and taken a few photographs, I'm actually going to give it to one of you guys in the group. So there will be just a little post saying that, I don't know, I'll think of a question, and then obviously I'll pick one winner and they will get it, and I'll send it in the post. Doesn't matter where in the world you are, I will send it personally out my own pocket to you guys. Because believe it or not, I have 12 of these Wesley totes in my cupboard, so yeah, I don't need another one. So I'm just going all the way around, clipping the edges together. I will actually be holding, because we were going through the cupboard the other day, and I have got like a little walk-in cupboard, and there's quite a lot of bags that I don't use and I've never have used. There have been samples and stuff like that. So me and my husband have said that we will actually hold a few giveaways I will hold a few giveaways, so you guys can have a piece of Becky bags. Some of them might not even have gone to print. Some will be testing for other designers. So yeah, one every month of the year. yeah. Actually, they're actually quite autumnal. Like there is like autumn ones and summer ones and stuff like that. Right, let me just make sure. Right, so I've clipped all the way around. Now, so some machines you have a free arm. My advice is if you got a free arm on your sewing machine, take it apart and get the free arm out. I don't have a free arm on my machine, it's a flatbed. So I'm going to stitch now like I would if I had a free arm but without a free arm. It's quite, you're basically pulling it apart. So I'm just going to go down and I'm stitching from the inside rather than the outside, and you do that when you're top stitching around as well. So because I won't be showing you the next step because it takes me about 35 minutes to press the bag so it's neat and so I can top stitch it all the way around. So if you haven't got a free arm, like I haven't, you will turn this bag inside out, so the right side facing is inside, and then you will top stitch like I am top stitching now from the inside outwards. Just means that you're getting the best of your thread, best of your sewn lines shown, because sometimes the bobbin side isn't your best sewn side. So I'm going to be stitching at, on my machine it's a 2.4, but most machines it's a 2.4 to 2.7 depending on what machine you have, and I'm stitching 1 centimetre away from the top, all the way around, going slowly, and I'm moving the bag as I go. Taking those clips off. Now if you don't have wonder clips you can actually pin. There's no harm in pinning. Just I don't like getting caught on the pins because I do normally stab a finger on it and stuff like that, so I like my wonder clips. I think you can pick up 100 wonder clips off Amazon for like $7.99, and I know they're not the correct wonder clips, but they're still as good, and they're colourful as well. As you notice, I'm going quite slow around the top because I like it to be near enough precise, and also I keep feeling to make sure my handle's like really pushed away from the area of where I'm sewing. Now my handle I can feel is coming up, so I'm just getting my finger in that bit there and that last bit. Right, so that's, I've stitched all the way around. Oh, stitched all the way around. I'm just going to go with a pair of scissors and trim back the excess. So I'm trimming it back by half. Making sure you don't cut into those sewn lines. And all the way around. So like I said, I'm not going to show you this next step. It's all self-explanatory in the actual pattern, because like I say, this next part takes me about 30 minutes to do, so I'm not holding you for 30 minutes of your time, but I'll turn it the right side facing out. So that gap at the bottom that we left, you're going to get your hand in and slowly ease out, ease that out. Yeah, Susie, I use bulldog clips on leatherwork because they open up a lot more wider, so they are actually quite good for sewing as well, especially in bulky areas. I'm just going to pull those handles out. So before I go any further, I'm going to get my hands inside and make sure these corners are out first. So, do it over here. So I'm going in, going in, and just poking out those corners, because this is the only stage you can actually do this in. Right. Then I'm going to, where the corners are bunched up here, get my hands in and just push out those corners. Same with this one. And then at this point, while this lining is out, you can take this part to your iron and give this a bit of a press. And what you're doing is pushing the two raw edges up inside the bag, like so. And you're going to clip those. Sorry, shouldn't have put that in my mouth, I know. My mum's always telling me off. And then you're basically going to sew across that. So I'll just quickly do that now. Now you can whip stitch this or ladder stitch, but for quickness I'm just going to do it on the machine here. Now if this was a commission bag, I would be hand stitching this part and you won't be able to see the sewing line, but like some of you have previously said, you don't like hand sewing, so right, and coming to the last bit. Right, so now you need to get this lining inside the bag. So the way we do it is pinch there, flip that over and pinch there and open it up, and the lining should push inside the bag. Like so. Get your hands in, pushing out those corners there. And then what you need to do is roll this top here and keep rolling it. And then this is what takes me about half an hour to do. So you go round giving it a good press all the way around. Once you've given it a good press, like I say, I turn my bag so it's inside out, and then top stitch all the way around. And then I top stitch all the way around. If you've got a free arm, you can leave it this way out, but just keep rolling it so you've got a neat edge and the lining isn't showing. And yeah, you have one complete bag. Obviously I will finish mine a bit later, because like I say, it takes me forever to press that. So yeah, one lucky winner will get this bag. I will hold a competition tomorrow. Yeah, it will have to be tomorrow now, in the actual Facebook group. So yeah, I don't know what I'll be asking. I might ask my husband to ask a question or something, and then yeah, I'll choose one lucky winner later on next week. So like I say, next week's Facebook Live isn't exactly a Facebook Live, so I will drop a link in the group, and then it will take you over to YouTube. And on YouTube, it will be a pre-recorded video that I'm going to do a piping of how to do piping on a bag or a cushion, and how to make the piping to match your choice of colour and stuff like that. How to make the bias binding. But the reason why I'm having to do it non-live is because of the fact that it will be back to front if it's live, and especially ask the kids. Yeah, so, and when you make the bias binding, you need it to go the correct way of when you sew those bias binding strips together. So if I showed it on here, it'd be the wrong way round, and I'm still working on that. I need a couple of £1,000. I'm going to put it out there. I need at least £2,000 to buy this special equipment. I'm a quarter of the way there, so and then it won't be back to front. So yeah, it's coming. But so I need to get you to go over to YouTube on next Wednesday. I will be actually watching it with you, and it counts down into the video, so don't worry. When it's counting down, it means that it's going into the live pre-recorded. And then I will start chatting to you like you are now, chatting to each other and saying hi to me. It'll be exactly the same as that, and I'll be interacting with you that way. So yeah, it will be live, but not live, if you understand where I'm coming from. Yeah, so watch out for the link next week. If you don't see the link and you haven't got time to watch it when it goes live on the YouTube video, don't worry, it will stay on YouTube. And then I will actually put it up on Facebook as well later on that day or the next day. So yeah, it's happening. It's just taking a bit of time. So yeah. Anyway, thanks ever so much. And yeah, right, so round of applause. Amy has managed to sort out a panel for the next pattern, and yeah, they arrived yesterday, the samples, and I'm not joking, they are brilliant. They have blown me away. So the next pattern is a brand new pattern that's coming out, is the end of the month, with not just 2 colourways. So there is 2 colourways. So yeah, so that's a bit of an thing. But there's going to be 3 kits as well available. So there's going to be a panel as one kit where you can buy the PDF pattern. There'll be a panel kit, which is the hard copy, the paper hard copy and the panel. And then there's another kit where you get the panel, the hardware and the pattern. But also alongside those kits, you can buy the pattern by itself, because you might have the fabric already in your stash to do. And also there is other panels for other things to be made, but that's up to you. So it's all the same theme. So the sewing machine, I'm going to put it out there, it's to do with sewing. And yeah, it's there's 4, 5, 6 extra panels on top of this bag panel as well. And then also the puffing is going to be one of the extra panels that you can buy as well. Set up a GoFundMe. See, I don't want to take you guys' money. This is what we've been having this long discussion about setting up a GoFundMe account. I just don't want to take your money for the filming equipment because, yeah, I know it's going to benefit you guys, but it's, yeah, I just really know money can be hard for somebody. So no, I'm getting there. I think I'll have it by mid-year. So I'm getting there. So yeah, and I'm a quarter of the way there. So thanks for the offer, but I don't think I want to take your money from you guys. I want you to save your money for selling low. I want to you to spend your money on supporting not just me as a guest designer from the Sewing Quarter. I want you to support other people, the other guest designers. So yeah. Thanks for the offer, but I'm going to do it myself, and then I know that it's only a small amount from everyone. I know, but it means that you can buy the pattern and something down the line, which supports us even more, if you understand where I'm coming from. But yeah, thanks for the offer. Anyway, I'm gonna go. So keep an eye out. Next week there'll be a link to go to the premiere of the YouTube video. Don't worry if it doesn't start exactly at 1 o'clock. If it's counting down, it'll count down from 100. So yeah, and if you come in halfway through, you can just start it off from the beginning. So there's no harm in that. Anyway, thanks ever so much and enjoy your weekend.